Boy, you really got me going. You got me so. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, hello. I just wanted to talk to you today about airplanes going overhead. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but what do you expect? I'm in Manhattan, so we've got two airports in between here, JFK and LaGuardia. And it's just airplanes and airplanes. Anyway, so I started recording so I can talk to you a little bit about sexual kung fu, since you may have run across it on my website if you ever go onto my website, or you may have heard of it, or you may have absolutely never heard of it, and you might be like, what exactly are you talking about? Well, now I'm going to bring that up and show you what it's all about. So, the sexual kung fu practices is related to the teachings of Montauk Cha, that I am not quite 100% sure how far back these teachings actually date. So all I know is that I was informed about these teachings several years ago, I'm thinking like 16 years ago or something like that. Yeah, around that long. Around the time that I began my Reiki journey, learning the art of Kundalini Reiki energy medicine. So I was talking to a wizard that I knew who lived in Bozeman, Montana. This was at the time I was living in Colorado, and I used to speak with him on the phone. He taught me about sexual energy cultivation and conservation, and what we can do to maintain our vitality and keep a youthful and vibrant, glowing type of appearance. And apparently the byproduct is also that your body shape is pretty nice. It makes your waist smaller. It brings your bust out even more, supposedly, for a woman, if you're practicing the female practice. And I'm wondering if male to female transitioned people can actually do the female practice as well. I don't know. I'm not such a person, but I'm very interested to hear if anybody has ever tried this. So I wanted to demonstrate a little bit of it to just show you what it's like. So this is a little bit adult because it involves a little bit of touching of one's self. So if you are under the age of consent, you probably should stop watching this video. So what we're doing in this video is that we are addressing the aroused state, and instead of treating the aroused state as if it is a form of tension that we need to rid ourselves of, that we are actually using it as a potential to grow the pleasure and the power within ourselves. And I teach pleasure as analogous with power, at least to the point where it is an inseparable counterpart to power, but it also presents itself in force, which causes us to confuse force with power. So when we engage in power play, for instance, where there is a dynamic of a person who is maybe servile or submissive, and then there's another person who is dominant, then this is a power exchange, so to speak. And when it comes to this, it's really more like force rather than power, according to what I have learned from the psychological work of Dr. David Hawkins. So he wrote a wonderful book that I recommend everybody highly. It's called Power versus Force. And I talk about it a lot. He maps consciousness in it. This is an amazing, groundbreaking piece of work that was presented by this psychologist. And he was actually knighted by Queen Elizabeth, so he is Sir Dr. David Hawkins. I definitely recommend it. Anyway, Power versus Force, check that out so you can see a little bit more of what I'm talking about. So I am going to address pure power that comes with pleasure itself, that we work on embodying within ourselves. It doesn't require an external party or force or anything like that. Other than that, it just kind of comes to you as it does when we receive or when we experience an aroused state. It just kind of happens. I must be talking during peak airplane time, peak airline operations, like anyway, hopefully it's not too interfering. So for the Kung Fu that I practice, sexual Kung Fu, we are going to, well, this is not only the only Kung Fu that I practice. I've also practiced standard Kung Fu, Northern Shaolin Kung Fu and monkey style, but that's a whole other situation. This is addressing your aroused state and finding an alternative to masturbation. So when we practice this, so I'm gonna start with the female practice. So for the female practice, we sit with the heel on the opening to the vagina. So we press the heel right to the opening, and then we can take the other foot and put it inside the crease, and then the heel rests on the pubic bone. So this is called Yoni Mudra, or yeah, it's called Yoni Siddhasana. So Yoni Siddhasana is this way that we're sitting here, and we can rock our pelvis a little bit and start to get a little bit of stimulated energy this way. And because women take a little bit more time to warm up the sensual energy, so we may end up wanting to rock our pelvis a little bit and just get a little bit more stimulated in the genital region. And then once we feel a little bit more like this part of our body is more awakened, then we begin massaging the breasts very gently. So we are just drawing the fingers along the breasts and underneath, and we're avoiding the nipples. So just the tips of the fingers are dragging along the breasts around in circles. And as we move our fingers along our breasts this way, we're going to pull up on the pelvic floor. So that is pulling up on the pelvic floor, like trying to stop the flow of urine, feces, or whatever from coming out. So we call that Mula Bandha also in yoga. So you're going to be practicing the root lock Mula Bandha, stimulating that pelvic floor and bringing it up. And then as we do these rotations, we're going to inhale through our nose in little sips, as if you're filling up with air little by little by little, and you're imagining this movement of the air, and it's filling your head. So you're sipping air all the way down from your pelvis. So it's like you're breathing through here, and then inhaling up, 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 up. So we refer to this sometimes as ovarian breathing. For men, it would be testicle breathing. So this part is a little bit similar for both men and women, but men may not be able to do this position when they're, I'll show you what the guys do in a minute. So anyway, we're inhaling through the nose. And then once we're full with air, and continue doing more. So you can make some sounds as you exhale once you're filled with air, and keep doing the rotations. Keep pulling up on that pelvic floor, keep inhaling through the nose. So you want to do a minimum of 36 rotations, no more than 130, something like that, 163 I think. You don't want to do more than that. So I usually only do like 36 or maybe double that. But so going this way and just filling with air. And then Once you've done enough rotations, you can also go the other way, by the way, if you'd like to try going the other way, the other direction. Just avoiding the nipples, just getting some circulation here. Pulling up on the pelvic floor, inhaling through the nose. And now, instead of letting your breath out like a ha, once you get to the top of your next series of inhales, you're going to inhale a little more, squeeze your thumbs with your fists, and then start to squeeze all your muscles together. So you're inhaling, and hold and squeeze. Pull in everything. Keep pulling up on the pelvic floor. Pull the shoulder blades towards each other. Squeeze the elbows in towards one another. Make your fists tight. Even scrunch your face up. Pull your navel in. Hold. And then exhale. And you should feel this great wave of both relief and pleasure come over your whole body if you've done it properly. And you may feel a little bit even dizzy in your head. You may feel more warm in your upper body. That's because you just drew a bunch of heat from your sacral torch all the way up to your heart, to your throat, to your head. Now that you've brought this energy up, now you bring your tongue to the roof of your mouth right behind your teeth. And you actually kind of want to do this the whole time. There's a lot of details in this. So don't expect to do this all correctly the first time, because there are many things you need to get in order to do this. Putting the tongue at the roof of the mouth. You have to see what I'm teaching you as if it's like a battle to fight gravity, and you are grabbing onto so many things. It's like you're climbing a cliff and you're grabbing as many stones as possible to keep yourself from falling down. You're coming up with all these techniques and these holds that you're using. So holding the tongue at the roof of the mouth, even clenching your teeth a little bit so that you activate the cerebral spinal pump, so that your cerebral spinal fluid in your spine is actually coming up. So there's a lot of technical things going on, but you want to get this technique down properly so you can actually gain control of your orgasm function, so you can become the master of the pleasure that you experience in your life, rather than being controlled by it or using it as a way to control and manipulate others. This way, you can become a stronger and happier person who is more self-contained and actually more attractive, more charismatic, and just someone that people may be more interested in being around, because they're going to be wondering how you got so filled with this delightful energy. They're going to feel it. They're going to notice that you seem like you have a higher level of satisfaction than the average bear, and they're going to be curious. This is a wonderful way to actually attract people into your life. And it's also a wonderful way to attract a bunch of weirdos and perverts who have absolutely no idea where you're coming from. So just to bring it up to the forefront, if you don't want to turn heads and get people from all over the place, male and female, coming at you and being very interested in what's going on with you, this practice is not for you. You need to do the normal stuff and keep draining your energy with those normal ways of pleasuring yourself that pretty much everybody knows how to do, because we watch adult entertainment and it shows us how to do this. So we are getting a lot of this unwholesome behavioral modeling and social modeling constantly fed to us. So I mean, that's just the thing. So anyway, let me get back to the practice a little bit more. So once you've brought that heat up, there's ways to now let that hot energy spill down the front of your body. It just came up your spine. So now you want it to go down into your organs, into your thalamus glands, into your thyroid, into your liver, into your lungs and your intestines and all of this. So this is actually helping to revitalize your life, your energy. So to just meditate after you have completed that practice. Now for the min. So very similar to what I was teaching, but for min, you're going to need to hold your testicles and your penis. So you're going to grab the testicles gently with your fingers, like you're trying to keep them warm and protected. And then your thumb is right over top here. Your penis is just hanging between here, or maybe it's erect. Whatever is going on, it's probably going to be erect if you're going to be already kind of stimulated here. So you're going to be holding it, and then with your other hand, you're going to be making circles right here, right on the pelvic bone, or the pelvic mound, or not pelvic, but the pubic mound. So the pubic mound right above the shaft of your penis, so the base of the shaft. So you're going to just rotating here and rubbing here. And so you can do kind of big circles under your navel, but it has to be also stimulating your pubic mound. So right up here, and you're also pulling up on your pelvic floor and taking these sips of breath, inhaling through the nose. So inhale, inhale, inhale. So testicle breathing, breathing through the testicles and watching that hot energy come up, 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 up. And you may not feel it the first time. You know, it takes a little bit of work to start to feel this energy pull up into your pineal gland. So you're making these circles, at least 36, pulling up on the pelvic floor. And then once you've finished your 36 rotations, then you're going to inhale, make your fists, pull your belly in, squeeze the anus, squeeze the elbows, squeeze the shoulders, pull the navel in, squish your face up. Keep holding your breath. Hold, hold, hold. Everything tight and tense. Hold the tension. And then exhale and relax. And just feel that energy circulate through your body. It should just be shooting up. So this explosive potential, I just spit, this explosive potential to ejaculate is moving in a different way. You're actually working on like reversing this downward current. So the downward current is called apana, and the upward current is called udana. And udana is what you want to engage, and it works with your throat. So if you engage your voice, you get into what I call your erotic voice. It really helps you to pull that energy up through your body. So as you're doing these practices, never be too ashamed or shy to say, you know, really just let that sound, let that erotic, sensual, lovely voice come out. You can go, also, you can say, you can say, You can also go, make like a V sound or a Z sound. They are amazing sounds to make, to really vibrate that sexual, sensual, hot, lovely energy up through your body. Because what you really want to do is you want to pull that energy up instead of letting it just drain down. And this is why the no FAP movement has been so popular, because even just not jerking off, not masturbating, not orgasming like this, for males and females, it makes a difference with the way your skin looks, the way your energy is, the way your creativity moves. All kinds of things shift when you shift your focus from wanting to create the orgasm in yourself to just allowing the energy to move through you the way that it's just naturally moving through you. There is no prescription saying that you must ejaculate or orgasm in a certain way. Nobody is telling us that there's any wrong way to orgasm. So that's what's interesting about this, because this actually suggests that we are orgasming the wrong way by seeking the standard orgasm, the way that all the adult entertainment has been demonstrating to us and modeling to us. So if we can actually work on the ingasm instead of just the orgasm, the outgasm, then we're going to become stronger emotionally, and all of the stoic energy that you want to cultivate for your self-care and for your self-maintenance, for being able to resist all of these manipulations that are happening on the sensual and sexual level. If you want to be stronger than that, this is a wonderful way for you to build that power within yourself. So I hope that this little demonstration helped you at least a little bit in getting a little more understanding of what this practice does. And so I didn't finish all the stuff for the male practice because it's all the same as it was for the female practice that I did. After you've brought that energy up, and also you could be clenching your teeth for the cerebral spinal pump to bring that fluid up as you were doing this practice. So remember, as you're grasping, and I think usually you grasp with the left hand and then you do it with the right hand. This makes more sense to me. So, because this is the giving hand, this is the receiving hand. So you're basically receiving your business, your genitals, in your left hand, and you're giving to yourself with your right hand. So it makes sense, right? This arm is associated with our heart, the left arm, and then the right arm, giving. So once again, pulling up on that pelvic floor, clenching the teeth, bringing the energy up, clenching the energy in as you inhale and hold. You make this fist, they call it holding firm. So you're putting your thumbs inside your fists and squeezing everything tight. So you'll find on YouTube some other videos that do talk about the pineal gland stimulation factor, about the dynamic of really waking up your pineal gland with this. This practice, though, that I'm telling you about is a way of integrating your entire body, starting with your root chakra and going all the way up the chakras. So this is actually a greater dynamic than simply just holding your breath and squeezing and then doing the other thing, but you can. You can do it with a series of breathings. You want to just take a few breath cycles before you enter that stage of that pineal stimulation, but it is amazing. And I recommend it if you are working on your lower chakras and moving up, though. It's really, really healthy to integrate all the chakras. I call them our rainbow ladder. So you're climbing that rainbow ladder to heaven to discover the kingdom of God and heaven within yourself. So that's the wonderful thing about this. It's not so much that you are a God. Yes and no. What you are is the vessel of God. You are the bridge between heaven and earth, and heaven and hell, and life and death, all of that. That's you. And that is what is amazing about being alive and having the power and the knowledge to actually move the energy through your body and change your life and shift the way that you focus and the way that you dedicate your energy to your life. So I hope this has helped you in some way. I'm going to sign off now. Namaste.